Welcome back, my friends. Draft for Upside here. I am Johnny Danger. With me, Chris Emmerich and Brewery Mark. We are here to talk U.S. Open at Winged Foot, the PGA Major about to go underway Thursday morning. It is Tuesday night, September 15th, and we are here on behalf of FantasyFootballBlueprint.com. I know we're going to talk PGA, and perhaps we'll have a mother site for that to direct to at some point, but you will find all of our information over there for the time being. So please check us out. Chris, Mark, now that we've calmed down from winning a shit ton of money, what do you think about winning some more on the PGA?
I would love it, and I love this tournament. This is one of the best ones, the U.S. Open, where a winning score can actually be a plus score.
Actually, a funny story about that, Mark. Do you know that only one U.S. Open at Winged Foot has been won with a positive score in the history, and that was 1984. Do you know who is the only one to win at Winged Foot
in
the negatives?
No.
Fuzzy Zeller.
Oh, yeah.
1984. Only one to get it done. Fantastic. In fact, I think I was reading that no one has ever had a round of under 66. Interesting course.
This is Winged Foot. It is tough, and the USGA always grows those roughs out to be feet deep, and they set these courses up to be tough.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. All right, so we are at Winged Foot. This place is insane. The roughs are crazy. The fairways are narrow. The greens are probably worse than the roughs. We are in for an interesting ride. It's going to be an interesting DFS score watching these go. There's not going to be a whole lot of birdies and eagles. Saving par is going to be the best thing to do. Trying to look through here. Where did my breakdown go? There it is. That's not it.
Yeah, the greens are heavily slanted.
There it is.
Back to front. So, you have to kind of roll the ball up to the pin. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be behind it. You'll come right off the front. In DFS, you're not worried about birdies and eagles this week. You're
saving par.
Last year, a 4-6 lineup made money. So.
Mm-hmm. I like it. This course is almost 5,000 yards, par 70, 565-yard ninth hole, man. Crazy long. So bomber's obviously a premium, but more important than bombing is as far as you can hit it, but accurately. So a guy like Bryson, probably not my favorite. JT, probably not my favorite. The guys that just hit it long but just can't keep it straight right now. Not going to be for me. So I'm looking at the driving accuracy. I'm looking at approach shots around the green. I'm looking at guys that have solid putters because the putting is going to be insanely difficult. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, I agree. You need accuracy off the tee, and long iron play is going to come into this. And around the green, our favorite stat, ARG.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important here because I think sometimes you see people that even could reach the green might lay it up short just to get a better chip shot rather than a super long putt that just has no chance to go.
Yep.
So definitely that approach and that around the green is huge for me this week. So big field, one big change this week. Please note that it is top 60 in ties advancing past the cut, not 65 like it has been.
No, that's interesting.
Yes. So quite the large field. Quite the large field. Everyone's here. Kevin Na's here, Chris.
I'm now into my lineup. Absolutely. Can't miss an opportunity to roster Kevin Na. In fact, that was the first thing I did is I looked and I saw that Kevin Na was playing and I decided that okay, maybe I'll play. If he wasn't, I wouldn't have.
I mean, probably one of the best short games, approach games, and putting combination in the field. So, I mean, he's a legit contender for a spot on one of my lineups.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have him in all of them.
100% exposure. Kevin Na, you heard it here. Draft for Upside, September 15th, 9:55 p.m.
I don't know how that's going to work out for you, but
Absolutely love it. Well, the stars are out for this, my friend. So let's go ahead and get right to it. The number one guy in the field, insane how good he has been lately. Dustin Johnson, 11-5. But let's talk about this guy. He's worth every one of those pennies. And my first lineup I put together just to hold my spot in my weekly contest that I play in has him in it. He's finished first or second in the last 4 events. He won the U.S. Open in 2016, and he has finished top 5 in 4 of his last 6 attempts at the U.S. Open. How can you not just auto-slate the top guy into this?
Because he's $11,500. That's why.
I don't know if I can fade him. I think I got to start with him and see where else it lines up.
It's a good tournament for a Stars and Scrubs lineup. Like I said, 4 out of 6 can make money this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a bad option.
It's true. Chris, I noticed you put your Twitter handle in there. Man, that's smart. You're a smart guy.
Hey, I come up with some good ideas once in a while.
I got to figure that out. I'm gonna learn. I'm a learner.
Yeah,
give me till about 2034, Chris, and I'll pick up everything you've thrown down.
There you go. I'm gonna follow suit. There you go.
I mean, that was a big change, and that's why I did mine. It was so easy. I don't have a cool last name like Danger. I know it's not your real last name, but you got
Danger
everybody
is
else.
my middle name, my friend.
I mean, everybody calls you by it, so I mean, you've got that going for you.
If only the story was as cool as the name. All right, so I guess we'll just move along there. I mean, there's no reason to sit on a live feed or podcast and talk about how good Dustin Johnson is. That's pointless. So let us move along. John Rahm, also absolutely been killer. His attributes here for this course probably line up better than Johnson's. $500 discount isn't quite, a huge discount. But are you liking Rahm better than Johnson?
They're equal in my mind, and Rahm has a slight advantage because it's $500 cheaper. So, but yeah, I think the course sets up perfectly for John Rahm, and he's been on fire of late. He's playing really good right now.
Next guy down the list at 10-7, Justin Thomas, probably a fade for me. If you go back and look at the comparable courses that they're saying were quasi-comparable this year at Muirfield Village and Olympia Fields, he played very poorly. His accuracy off the tee has been terrible. Even in that tournament that he chased down the win a while back, I mean, he was playing from fans' seats in like tree roots from that game, and he was just out of control, saving from terrible positions. That ain't going to work in this field.
Nope, I agree. He just... I don't know. He just hasn't been. It's the accuracy off the tee that's kind of making me fade him. I mean, these roughs that he's going to face. It's a U.S. Open. These USGA roughs are going to be horrible. He'll be scrambling all day long.
Rory McIlroy hanging out in the top 10 in the world still at 10-5, but he just hasn't really seemed to put it together since we came back from the COVID break. So full fade on Rory for me as well.
Yep. Yeah, he's just playing terrible.
A guy Chris and I both loved a couple weeks back, Xander Schauffele, back here at it again. I really like this dude. I think this is a real chance to win here. At 10-1, you're a full $1,400 cheaper than Dustin Johnson. If I don't start with Dustin Johnson, it's probably going to be Xander here. He's just been very, very good. He's not the greatest in my ARG stat. He's only about halfway, maybe top third in the field. But this guy plays accurate ball. He's a hell of a putter. He scores points. He avoids bogeys. He does everything you want him to. And I think this could just be one of those times to shine for Xander.
Yeah, I like Xander.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? There's not a whole lot more to say, is there?
No.
I mean, this is the top. We can make a case for every guy up here.
Yeah, I mean, I like Xander. I think I like him a little bit more than a lot of the other guys, especially when you start to consider that he's a little bit less expensive on the bottom end of this 10,000 block. I think Rory's a fine play if you can build up the lineup. The other guy that I think that we kind of mentioned a little bit, but if it's not Xander, I think John Rahm is the second best play up here. But again, you're getting a $900 discount, and we may need that salary. So, I don't have any problem. I think Justin Thomas is the only one that I'm not interested, and I'll have no exposure to. And, we can get down to Morikawa as well. But all things considered, I guess, but I like Xander a little bit more. It kind of goes Xander, Rahm, Johnson for me. Then
For sure.
Rory.
I can get behind that. Just so people know, this is Tuesday night, guys. We have a couple days yet before this kicks off. We're just kind of giving general thoughts here. For more specific information, you are going to have to find our post at Draft for Upside on our Facebook page, at our partnership over at Fantasy Football Blueprint.com, and just stay tuned for more specific picks as we get closer to tee off Thursday morning. Trying to find Xander's exact finishing for his U.S. Opens. Yeah. But I do know that from looking at it earlier, and now I just love it when I have everything set up and ready to go, and then when I go to tear at something, it's not there. I do know that his history in the U.S. Opens, he has never finished outside the top 6 in the U.S. Open yet.
Who's that?
Xander. He's finished top 6 in every U.S. Open he's entered. I don't know how many that is. Is that 3 U.S. Opens?
It's
1 U.S. Open. I don't know. I just had it up.
I just had it here. It's
I lost it.
He top 6 finishes in his first 3, and a 3rd place finish in Pebble Beach last year.
There we go. See. He's got the history. He's got the cojones. He's got the game. I like him a lot. A lot of Vegas betting love on Adam Scott here. I know I skipped a little bit, but I just was looking at that. It's down the list, so we'll get to that. I just was flipping through a few other things. Collin Morikawa, man, could he go after number 2 this year and compete for the quote-unquote COVID slam?
I actually really like him in this spot. He hasn't been playing the best of late, and I think that'll keep his ownership down. He's not really a bomber, but he's super accurate off the tee and with his irons. So I like him. I think I'm going to build several lineups where he's my starting point.
I mean, he definitely has the moxie. He's probably maybe not get the ownership of those top 4 guys above him. Ball striking, impeccable approach game, amazing off the tee, extremely accurate. He doesn't have the greatest, chipping and putting, which may come into play in this course. But as Adam has always said, when he cares to actually show up, the putter is the one thing that can just get hot for a guy at any given weekend. So this guy's got the whole game but the putter. If he puts the putter together this weekend, you could be looking at major number 2 for Collin Morikawa. Next guy down the list, just under 10K, Bryson. Got no interest in Bryson. I just think he's too wild right now, and he's too long off the tee. He's going to have to club back. I think it takes some of his advantage away from him, and just not accurate enough for the recent play for me for this course.
No, it seems like his focus on becoming the longest driver in the world has taken away from his iron play. And so he's bombing it out there, and give him that. But his approach shots just haven't been there lately.
I agreed. Moving down the list, Webb Simpson. Man, this guy is just an all-around good player. Hits the ball straight as an arrow. Do I think he's going to win? I don't know. I don't know if he's got the finishing moves for this particular course, but man, I could lock in a top 10 bet on him.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a shoo-in for a top 10 finish. I don't know if he'll take the whole thing.
Cash play, lock and load.
Yep, exactly.
Patrick Cantlay's an interesting guy. I think he's got the game to play. I don't know if mentally he's ready to compete in this kind of field, but It's going to be interesting. I don't know how I feel about Cantlay. Where do you feel about him? 9,400 seems a little high when you can get a guy like Berger or Finau or Hideki or Fleetwood in the next few spots below him. Probably a salary fade for me, even though I like his game here.
Yeah, if he's swinging well, he's perfect for this course. But I don't know. He's just been super inconsistent so far this year. So I'm kind of with you. 9,400 just feels a little too much for him.
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
I mean,
I think he's okay. Not crazy about him. Hasn't had a recent good form. Has been struggling a little bit and does compete against a weaker field in comparison to a lot of other guys around this price point. I don't think we get down to somebody that's been in a weaker field consistently than like a Tommy Fleetwood. There haven't been a ton of them, but no, I agree. Webb, Xander, those are my two guys up here. I got another guy that if you guys don't mention him, I'll bring up, but he's a little ways down and he's a little bit more of a GPP play as opposed to a kind of a cash lock and load, build your lineup around. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a guy that you just kind of sprinkle in there a couple of times.
Yeah. I feel good about the next few guys on here. Daniel Berger been playing absolute solid golf. I mean, Tony Finau, couple of holes away from absolute brilliance this year. Could he put it together this week at 8,900? Nice discount for a guy, or 9,100. Nice discount for a guy off the top of that leaderboard who has been competing well this year.
Yeah, I like Berger a lot. He's currently coming out number 1 in my rankings. I really like the way his game fits this course.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, can Finau, put it together finally? Can he, yeah. And he's another person that I can see a top 10, maybe top 15 finish.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if he can take it all the way.
Sure. Day is the accuracy and approach game is just not there for me. Adam Scott, I don't know. I got to look into this. I was just popping through Vegas bets, and he is like, everybody is touting this like, I don't know, 50-1 or whatever it is right now that they were talking about. A lot of people talking about that bet for him. I haven't really given Adam Scott much thought. Of course, I will get fully into breakdowns tomorrow as I go through player by player and start building models. But either of you guys have any insight why they're talking about Adam Scott so much?
I think it's just, he plays better on these tight courses, and he's a little more accurate and more methodical about his approach. I think that's all it is.
Guy below that, Tiger Woods. I mean, he's got good history.
No, Danger. You skipped 2 of my favorite plays.
No, I did. Fleetwood and Day.
No, Fleetwood and Hideki.
No, I like Hideki. I think he's totally fine. He's one of those guys at top 15s almost every time he plays in these kind of things. I don't know win equity, but definitely a guy that's going to get you some points.
Yeah, he tends to step up in these tournaments like this, and he's another one though. It's all about his putting.
Yeah, he just can't putt. He's maybe the worst in the field. I'm going to sort by putting right here. I think he's got to be bottom like 10 in the field in putting. Oh yeah, for sure. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th worst in the field in putting.
Yeah, I still like him.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. He can have a great week and just not sink those putts he needs to hit to climb the board. So top 20, absolutely. Top 10, maybe. Win it? I don't think so.
No, but the key to this week with DFS is to get as many players through as you can.
Absolutely, especially with a 60 cut line instead of 65.
Yep.
All right, moving on down the list. Next group here, like I was going to say, Tiger. I don't think I can do it. He's always going to have higher ownership than he should in these kind of events, and I just don't think I want to be a part of that. I'm probably only going to build 3 lineups this week. I had been doing like 20 max in the lower ones just to play around with different styles, but I think 3 in like the $10 to $15 range for me this week. So I think I'm going to Stay the hell away from Tiger Woods. Chris, you going to throw any Tiger at the wall?
I don't think so. I mean, it just depends on how many lineups I do. If I do a bunch of them, and I might just take a stab at it. Then I probably have some Tiger, but I actually kind of like the guys right under him a little bit more. Kind of this trio right here. These are again guys that I think can be really good, or they could be really bad. And you just don't know what's going to happen. So they're guys that you could put with like a Webb and a Xander, and maybe do one of these, and that would be Patrick Reed, Justin Rose, and Ricky Fowler. I think Rose is the most interesting out of there. Certainly has the ability to win this. I think he's significantly underpriced, but when you look at his recent form, how he's performed at some of these tournaments, it's been kind of hit or miss, and that kind of tells you why his price is where it is.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Patrick Reed is on my short list. He was in the first lineup I built. Based on gut feeling, no research. I just I have a history of this weekly league that I'm in of forgetting to put a lineup in. So now, as soon as I get the invite, I just scroll down and click on the most interesting names I can fit in the lineup just to save the spot. He was there, and I think he might stay there. I really like Patrick Reed for this tournament. Mark?
Yeah, he's okay. I'll definitely have a little bit of exposure to him. I don't think he's that accurate off the tee, but maybe if he dials it back a little bit and hits the fairway more, his approach is great. His arg is great. So it's really going to be for him his driving, if he can keep it in the fairway.
I like it. Skipping down there, I think Scheffler is out with COVID. Maybe? Thought I heard that. So we'll skip him. Tyrell Hatton been having a really good year. I'm all on board in him, 8,100. I think that's a great place for him. It's a good spot. I think there's some value there. Looking before, I'm not really interested in Hovland. I think this is too big of a tournament for him. Not too worked up about Matty Fitz. Man, his skills always seem to line up, and every time I put him in the lineup, he does poorly. Every time I don't, he takes off. But he has got the right skill set for this, so I might have to think about Matty Fitz. Something about Paul Casey in these kind of events, I always kind of dig into it. His stats so far this year aren't great, but he's had a couple of nice tournaments, and I might think about him. But right below that, Harris English, 7,900. I mean, this guy has been playing right along with those top 10 guys all year long. He's looked good. I've loved watching him play. And at 7,900, I mean, almost an auto lock in all three lineups.
I like it. I like him a lot this week. Just he's on his game right now, and he is shooting the ball accurately. I like it a lot.
7,900. Are we getting closer to your guy here, Chris?
No, I already said him. It was Justin Rose and Ricky Fowler.
I like it.
But I do have a couple other guys as we get down here that I'm kind of interested in. We got one that probably doesn't make it into the tipsy picks, but he's down there, and he's probably one of. I like him. His driving accuracy is kind of bad, but I think you're not going to get the complete player down here at these prices. You're going to have some problems with accuracy, or something. There's something flawed with these guys.
There's always something, yeah.
You're right. I agree, but that's why I really like this top end of the 7,000 here, because there's some guys in here that I don't see a lot of flaws in. I mean, Harris English's game is on point. Abraham Answer kind of fallen off recently, but started off really hot. Matt Wolff, I mean, this kid hits it straight and accurate. His around the green's not great. His putting's okay, but talk about keeping it in the fairway. I think Matt Wolff at 7,700, really good candidate here. And of course, Louis O always shows up for majors. What's your thoughts on the rest of the 7,000 range, Mark?
Yeah, I'm right with you. And right at 8,000, I like Victor Hovland too. Very accurate player. We already talked about Harry English, Matt Wolff, and of course Louis will be in almost every one of my lineups.
Dude makes cuts at majors, right? I mean, he's not going to win, but dude makes cuts at majors.
He does. He plays them great.
Adam always gets so worked up when, no, dude, I like Louis. He's just not going to win. Well, he could win. He's not going to win.
He's not going to win, but if he can make the cut, I will love it.
Mm-hmm. Sergio is another guy that when we come to these kind of tournaments, I always put a star next to his name and just go kind of look at his history and look at how he's playing in similar courses. He's just a guy that's not afraid of a field. And at 7,500, it's nice to have a couple of people if they're in contention on Saturday or Sunday, they're not just going to blow it. Louis is one of those guys. Sergio is one of those guys for me. I don't know. As I get a little further down this list, some Jays had some nice spots on the year. Billy Ho has had some nice spots on the year. This is an interesting area. This low 7Ks. I mean, it's a good salary relief. It's a great spot to be able to pay up in other places. And Brendan Todd was hot as hell starting the restart. Phil, what do you think about Phil? All jazzed up about winning his senior match.
Yeah, I think Phil might come out swinging, trying to prove that he shouldn't be on the Grandpa tournament.
Right. One of the other podcasts I was listening today was like, this dude's going to come out and lead the field Thursday and then miss the cut.
Yeah. He always has that first big round, right? Yeah.
And I have to look up the odds, man. But I don't know, man. I might put a first round leader on Phil, just coming out all jacked up. Chris, who you like here at the bottom end of the 7,000 range?
So I like Sung Jae, but I also like Siwoo Kim, and I really like Zach Johnson.
Zach Johnson's another one of those guys that just plays in majors, man. Just plays.
Well, I mean, he fits a lot of statistics that we've talked about. His recent form and a lot of those statistics is even better than what he's normally is. So, I mean, are we just going to ride him because he's hot? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And
yeah, that's what we do around here.
And I'm just hoping this isn't the week that he regresses on some of these things. So, yeah, I like Zach Johnson. I think he's probably one of the better plays. Given his price, he's going to be in a lot of my lineups. Probably going to ruin quite a few of them.
Well, I did a lot of sorting by ball striking and approach stats, and Martin Kamer popped up. And as I started listening to podcasts today and flipping through Twitter and articles over on several different sites, apparently I'm not the only one who thought that he showed up here. So he might be a little over-owned for the value I thought I was finding. But Martin Kamer keeps popping up. So keep an eye on him. Might dig into him a little deeper. Looking down through here, I mean, I think this is a course that Chesticle could have a shot at a top 25 at. Might be 6,900 there, Mark, one of your guys that could make the cut and help you win some cash.
Yeah, I like the Chesticle this week. He's been super accurate. He's been playing really well, only 6,900. He actually scores in the top 10 of my model I built. So yeah, he's probably going to be one of my main salary reliefs in GPPs.
This is an interesting range right here, 6,900. I mean, I like Ches. I like Eric Van Rooyen. I like Mackenzie Hughes has been extremely good the last couple of tournaments.
I like
Benny
Corey
On.
Connors.
What's that?
Corey Connors.
Oh yeah, Coco yeah. There. Benny On has got some potential here, and Thomas Peters down at 6,800. I don't know if you're looking at the what I'm looking at, Mark, when building the models here. Since I use your login for it, I probably am looking at what you're looking at. Thomas Peters, man, just kind of pops out here at 6,800. I don't know much about him. This is why I like when Adam's around, because I can narrow down these stats. I can look at these models. I can read history. But when I don't know who a guy really is, it's really nice to have Adam be able to tell you who he dated in freshman year of high school.
Yeah, exactly. I know all the big players, but when you get these names like this, I really don't know the guy at all.
And Chris, I feel like the most criminally under-owned and underpriced player in the field is right there next to Thomas Peters at 6,800.
Kevin Na?
What do you know about Kevin Na, my man?
I know that he can win on any given weekend, and he typically wins on at least one.
That's right. You know what, man? I think this guy's going to make the cut. He's killing the short game as always. He's killing the approach game as always. He destroys his putter as always. He really doesn't make a lot of bogeys. I mean, the guy doesn't play exciting ball, but he also doesn't put himself in a position to be screwed. I think I like him as a cut maker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a sprinkling of Kevin Na. I have to. It's on brand. It's the only way to do it, and he's a good price, and so that's exciting. I think the only tournament that I did play, and granted, take my advice for what it's worth, because this isn't my greatest sport. Actually, my ROI on it's pretty good, but maybe it's because Kevin Na makes the cut, but he just.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was 1 week where he was priced up at like 9,000-10,000, if I'm correct. Let me just take a look at this. And I think that was the 1 week that I was like, no, this is crazy. Yeah, it was back at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. It was 9,100, and it was just like, not the best field, but I can't do this. This is nuts. This is where he belongs in this 68, mid sevens, high sixes. Even high sevens maybe, but yeah. So you play him when he's down here. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely. And then when you're looking down in this range, for me, I mean, there's a lot of talk about European Tour players that come over for this. And there's a lot of talk of these, guys at the high end, at the end of their amateur careers, about ready to break out. I mean, there's a lot of different narratives you can play at 6,000, mid to low 6,000s. If you absolutely need to go it, I just look at recent form down here. That's all I look at. I look at the guys, because if you look at these stats over the last 50 rounds, last 100 rounds, you're sorting through these stuff. I mean, there's a reason why these guys are down at 6,500, 6,300. They probably don't have the greatest long-term stats. Otherwise, they would be higher and they would rank higher in these ratings. So I'm just looking at the last 5 tournaments they've played in, and just looking at the last 20 rounds they've played and looking for those hot hands down there. Frankly, I love it when I find a guy in the last 20 rounds that pops, but then when you go back to the default 50, 7,500 round list, they just look like dog shit. That's the best people to find down here. And there's some winners down here. I like Kevin Streelman. He's been hot. I like Ryan Palmer. He's been hot. Sebastian Munoz helped win me some money a couple of weeks ago when for a hot minute I was sitting at $40,000 in winnings with 8 holes to go. That didn't work out for me. And never look, right?
Yeah.
Mateus Schwab, Tyler Duncan. I mean, there's some good names down here in the middle 6,000 that have been playing good ball. Lanto Griffin. I mean, I could go on. There's a few more down here. Brian Harmon's been playing good ball at 6,400. Joel Damon. I mean, there is some excellent names here. I think we could really go after stars and scrubs, Mark.
Yeah. There's some really good names down here.
That's all I have, man. Those are the guys that I've got clicked. I don't know if I can bring myself to research anymore. I love golf, but not that much. Chris, you got any gems down here?
I like Ryan Fox. I mean, granted, everything that he's done recently is on the European Tour, and I guess here's kind of the thought is, I almost look at it the opposite way that you do. Yeah, recent form is important, but if you're looking for guys that are going to have lower ownership, I mean, all of these guys down here are, but I think maybe you can look at that on the lower end of the price point, but I think you want to approach the game completely opposite on the higher end, and you want to give less credence to recent form versus long-term form, and just the basis is you want to keep it in consideration, but that recent form is what's going to scare people off or attract people to it. When a guy is good, he's good, and he's usually good for a long time unless there's something that's just glaringly changed. Golf is a little bit different like that. It's a fickle sport. But when I'm building the CSGO lineups, sometimes a guy pops off for a week, and maybe you got him in there, but you're really looking at guys that are better over 3, 4, 5, 6 months, because that's going to be a truer representation of that player. And I think that again, just you got to approach different guys, different price points in different ways when it comes to golf.
Yeah, no worries. The last guy that I even have check marked down here, $6,200, Adam Law. That's all I got. Mark?
Don't even know who he is.
Oh, come on. Adam plays him all the time.
No Sandy Scott right at 6,000.
Yeah. Don't even know who that is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I think we're good. We gave some really good plays, I think.
And like I said, this was a general breakdown, Mark, and
Yep.
we'll put some more specific plays, kind of our consensus top guys. We'll put together. We'll put our our tipsy picks on official paper, and a few more thoughts. We'll get Adam's breakdown hopefully tomorrow, and we'll have it all out there. Check us out at Draft for Upside on Facebook, of course. If you're watching live, you already know that. And please check us out at fantasyfootballblueprint.com, where you can soon to find all of our expert picks on, gosh, I don't know, sports betting, esports, golf. Chris, you are like a top 3% NASCAR fantasy winner in Roto Grinders. Maybe a little NASCAR love someday.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't stalking your Roto Grinders profile for any reason.
No, I'm going to look. I didn't realize that. I mean, those rankings can be flawed because I don't think I'm positive on NASCAR. NASCAR is a fickle sport as well. It's fun to play because I don't watch it. I literally do what I dislike other people doing, is just looking at their phones and watching it kind of update. But yeah, I mean, they had some really good contests when there were no other good contests around. So it was always a shot to win 100,000, and I never did. But I won 200 in football, so who cares?
Right? Who cares? So yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I just submitted an article to the webpage on Prize Picks, the app where you just pick over and under on people's projected fantasy scores. So there's an article for everything over there. Blueprint Sports, man. I think we've only been doing it for a week, but we've been having some fun. It's been entertaining. The chat room's been lovely. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, and you will catch us live, Thursday night for the next time at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday night, as we talk about our preview for the main slate on DraftKings on Sunday. And then, of course, you can also catch us live Sunday mornings at 11 a.m., where we told you the Washington football team's defense was the play of the week. Damn it, you boys were right.
So they paid off 4 times their value. It was great.
Yeah. So please remember, give us a like, give us a follow, check out the webpage, and I am Johnny Danger for Chris Emmerich and Bree Mark. We will catch you Thursday night.
See ya.